Hello everyone! Today we're making beans, fool. Not you, the beans. Ful Medames, a delicious Middle Eastern bean dish eaten in many places, and maybe soon your own kitchen too, after you see how. Ful Medames is kinda like the Middle East version of refried beans. I'll also be making a green sauce called Zhoug to go along with it. Now, let's get into it. Being a bean dish, we're going to need beans of course, as well as a few things to flavor them. We'll be using fava beans. You can find these dried or canned. I'm using canned here, which I've rinsed clean. We'll also be using chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, to add a little something more to this pretty simple dish. I like adding a little tahini to my ful medames for its creaminess and flavor, which also helps differentiate it from other bean dishes. And cumin, a warm and savory spice. I recommend using whole cumin, which we'll toast and grind for the best results in flavor, but ground is fine too. For our sauce, called Zhoug, we'll mash a variety of herbs, spices, and seasonings with lemon juice and olive oil. The beans have a rich, earthy flavor, which can really benefit from the sharp and bright flavors from the sauce. We'll be using fresh parsley, fresh coriander, and cilantro, a green chili of choice, garlic, and cardamom, a unique spice with a distinct flavor that sort of tastes floral, herbaceous, and citrus-like. Let's start some prep for our sauce by cleaning this chili. It's a good thing to know how to do, since every chili is basically the same structurally. Cut off the end of your chili at the stem, and then again in half. Then, using a spoon, we'll scrape out the seeds and the pith, this white tissue here. Most of the capsaicin, the compound responsible for a chili's spiciness, is concentrated within these two parts. If you prefer your sauce on the spicier side, you can leave these in, but I'm making my sauce a little less spicy so my wife can enjoy this dish without dying. Then we'll just roughly chop everything. We're going to be blending this in a food processor, so just make sure everything's a reasonable size to fit. We'll just put our herbs, chili, and lemon juice into our food processor here and give it a few pulses. I like leaving the oil out at this step because if we were to add the oil too early and pulse it too much, we could run the risk of whipping up too much air into the mixture, resulting in something more like mayonnaise than the sauce we're trying to achieve. Now that we're mostly blended, we can safely add our oil and adjust the seasoning with a little salt, as well as our toasted and crushed cardamom. Speaking of which, to toast our spices, simply take a pan and place it over medium heat, dry, no oil or anything, then add your spices. Keep them moving around until they smell aromatic. This only takes a minute or two, so keep your eye on them. To grind our spices, we'll use a mortar and pestle, one of my favorite kitchen tools. There's something very satisfying and primal about the sound and use of them. Whenever possible, I always recommend using whole spices. You really can't beat the quality and flavor of them. However, ground spices are better than nothing, so just use what's available to you. And if mortar and pestles aren't your thing or you don't have one available, you can always use a coffee grinder as well. Now, cooking our beans couldn't be any simpler. We'll just get a pot over medium heat, add in 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then the beans. We'll then add some water, just enough to cover everything. Then we'll just keep stirring and mashing our beans and adding water when necessary until we reach our desired consistency. We're trying to have the beans partially break down, so they release their starches to form a creamy sauce. The beans were fully cooked when we added them, so it's more about getting them nice and creamy, which just takes some gentle cooking and patience. It looks like our beans are starting to get to that saucy consistency I was talking about. So now's a good time to add our flavorings. We'll add in our toasted and crushed cumin, our tahini, and a good amount of salt. Then we'll continue stirring and mashing until we reach our desired consistency. You can make this as smooth or as chunky as you like, it's up to you. I like mine with some chunks in there for texture, but still smooth enough to easily dip into. After about 20 minutes of cooking, these are looking just right. And there you have it, Ful Medames. Now I'll admit, this doesn't look so impressive like this, but that's where our Zhoug comes in. It's bright and uplifting, in both flavor and appearance, the perfect complement to our beans. We'll just spoon some of it on there, and look at that, much better. I like adding a few diced tomatoes in there too, for some more color and pops of flavor. You could also garnish this with fresh herbs, perhaps mint and coriander, some more spices like our cumin, maybe some sumac or even satar, even some feta cheese. Whatever, it's your beans, you make the rules. Now pair your beans with your favorite flatbread and vegetables and have at it. It's great for a snack, but there's enough protein in there for it to be a full meal too if you wanted. It's also vegan by default, which is a nice perk. We love eating our vegetables here. I hope you enjoyed this video. We really spilled the beans with this one. You definitely aren't a fool anymore, with all this knowledge about how to make Ful Medames. What kind of things would you like to see or learn next? Let me know in the comments. You can help me make more videos by liking and subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching.